I am not sure that anybody in this city could have brought this gathering of individuals together except Todd Bettison, who has certainly been a unifying force in this city. As you can gather, today is a day of celebration. Todd Bettison came to this city as a teenager. He joined the Detroit Police Department more than 30 years ago. Nobody gave him anything. He worked his way up the ranks one step at a time until he became the first assistant chief to Chief James White. And it was at a time the Detroit Police Department has put together a remarkable record. As I have said, our last chief, James White, I don't think there was any doubt, emerged as the finest police chief in the United States. And when he moved on, yeah, you can clap for him, it's still okay. When he moved on to take on the mental health system, I knew we had another extraordinary administrator, because when I needed a deputy mayor to oversee the fire department, the problems at DDOT, the problems in the building safety department, I got Chief White a little angry with me, but I picked as a deputy mayor Todd Bettison, and he demonstrated his ability to run departments across this city. When James White decided he had a different calling, I want to thank Darrell Woods and the members of the Detroit Police Commission. They went right to work, did a 3-month search process, fulfilled their charter responsibilities. I interviewed the 3 finalists that they selected, and we had a chance to evaluate acting Chief Bettison in his job for 3 months now. There is an outstanding leadership team at the Detroit Police Department. You didn't see anybody bolting for other places. That team stayed unified behind him. They continued to do an excellent job. Where's my friend James White? I'm sorry to say this, but in the last 3 months, the homicide rate in the city has dropped 20%. And so Todd Bettison has had a chance to prove himself, and in the way he's conducted himself in the community. Probably the biggest initiative he took on as deputy mayor was there was a lot of debate about defund the police. We need prevention. No, we need more officers. We needed both. And we needed a way to integrate community violence intervention with the police department, in which they weren't at odds with each other, that they were in harmony. And as deputy mayor, Todd Bettison is the one who built now our nationally recognized CVI program, and as a chief, he is making sure that enforcement and prevention go hand in hand. And so I am very proud to announce that today I am submitting for confirmation as permanent police chief, Todd Bettison. And before we get there, he has the strong support of the men and women of the Detroit Police Department, and I'd like to now bring up the head of the Lieutenant and Sergeants Association, Lieutenant Mark Young.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Today I'm honored to be here for this occasion. I have been honored to observe Chief Bettison throughout my career. Chief Bettison was my commanding officer when I was a sergeant at Southwest, displayed great leadership, great communication skills, and he walked the talk. He always exemplified leadership characteristics, showed compassion not only for the officers, but for the citizens during his leadership. His ability to build relationships through appreciation, respect, and the value of others have earned him the respect from not only the citizens, but from the law enforcement community. He understands what's important to you is what's important to him, and his compassion for the community is powerful. It's a no-brainer that he is our next chief. He has been groomed for this moment. I'm proud to call him my chief. And congratulations, Chief Bettison. You will continue to do an outstanding job. And before I pass it on to Sheriff Washington, Sizemore and Glenda, we have something for you, Chief. Before the mayor gives you the official badge, we want to make sure, because you earned it a long time ago. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce Sheriff Washington.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. I count it an honor as well as a privilege to be able to stand before you and speak just briefly on the accomplishments of our new, I almost said sheriff. That's my job. I'm the sheriff. Our new Detroit Police Chief. We get to take the interim term off now, and it's all about the chief now. And so I'm so proud of him. Todd Bettison is like a brother to me, literally, like a brother. I remember when he came on the job, and he came on the job focused to be here one day. You had to know that and watch him work when he came on the job some 30 years ago, that one day he's going to be the chief. One day he's going to be the chief, and now he is the chief of police for the Detroit Police Department. That's a huge honor. I want to say this guy is a community leader. He's a leader in law enforcement. The staff that he has working with him, he's going to be successful because of the people that he's surrounding him with in the Detroit Police Department. He's going to continue to be successful because he has all of us, the Wayne County Sheriff's Office, as well as the state police and all the other agencies that are around here is going to make sure that he's successful, because we're going to be at his beck and call, and we're going to do everything he needs us to do whenever he calls to make sure that the city of Detroit is what we all want it to be. So I want to say congratulations again, brother. I appreciate you so much. God bless you. Now I'm going to bring up Zoe from Force Detroit.
Peace, everybody. I'm proud of you. It's an honor to be standing amongst you all. A little bit about Bettison and the leadership that I fall up under. Delaire Harvey Quinns, Negus Vools, Zeke, Tafari Brent, Daryl Woods. And if I miss you, I didn't mean to miss you, but these are relationships that he had been establishing over a decade. And the people that you were willing to honor, show up with respect, they pour into people. They poured into me coming out of prison. We built an effective, impactful, community-based violence intervention strategy, methodology, and we made historical impact across the country. He created the metric system. He did that. It's a testament to your work, because the stuff that you designed brought us honor, put us in the light, gave us a platform. I don't stand here just proud of myself. I stand here proud to be amongst the people that I'm amongst, coming from what I come from. I'm glad that all you brothers and sisters, all the community organizers and leaders embraced me and educated me and mentored me. And I'm glad that they had a man like you to build with, and we didn't have a police force that constantly attack us and shoot us down. Instead, they stand side by side with us and lift up community. So you exemplify what an officer is. You exemplify what a chief should be. And I'm proud of you. I honor you, and I'm with you. Next, I'm going to bring up Reverend Anthony.
Thank you, brother. Let me say good morning to everybody. Good morning to everybody. Good morning. It is a good morning. First of all, let me let everybody know I wore my NAACP shirt today because I wanted you to know the NAACP stands with this brother and this city. And I want to first of all thank the mayor, for the mayor has appointed the last two police chiefs, White and now Bettison, to run the police department and to work with the community. So it's a testament to the understanding and the vision that he has relative to what our community should have. I don't care who was appointed as police chief, you would not have this kind of assembly other than somebody like Bettison, who was here. I grew up at a time when we had stress, stop the robberies, enjoy safe streets, and the Big Four. The streets were neither safe because they was killing people, and the Big Four was intimidating people. That's how Coleman Young became mayor. Ultimately, we fought for a board of police commissioners. We fought for black police officers to be hired. Brother Young and I used to go at it all the time because the DPOA was not our friend. Come on now, y'all know. Don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. So we have come a long way over the path that with tears have been watered and treading through the path of the blood of the slaughtered. All right. But out from the gloomy past, now we're here, stand at last. And so we're here to honor and to welcome this new police chief. He has earned it. He has been in the community. He listens. He comes out. He's not a fly-by-nighter. He's not a Johnny-come-lately. He's been here. And from the streets to the suites, he knows how to get it done. That's why I'm here. That's why we support this appointment. And we pray and hope that the city council will do the right thing and also co-sign and affirm this appointment. We need Todd Bettison for such a time as this. We have some challenges ahead. Our city, through its police department, has done some marvelous things. We have not had eruptions here because of the folk you see standing here and others, and a police department that works with the community. Bettison and White, and now Bettison in particular, will continue that kind of relationship. And so, Todd Bettison, we are proud of you. We stand with you. And we want to see you take the department to even higher heights because we know you can do that. I'm pleased now to turn the mic over to the chairman of the Board of Police Commissioners, Darrell Woods. I met this brother in prison. Why y'all so silent? I met him in prison. He was doing the work in prison, trying to turn people around, trying to change their lives. I went in as a visitor. I just want to make that clear. I was a visitor, and I went in, but Darrell was there working, building relationships and trying to build new values within the men who were there. And he worked with the NAACP. We worked together. And he has consistently been out here working for the community, working with the police department. I know this is highly unusual, but Detroit is an unusual city, and we have unusual leadership. And so I want to commend the Board of Police Commissioners led by Brother Darrell Woods and all those who were here and encourage you to continue to keep on keeping on because we need you right where you are also for such a time as this. It's my pleasure to present the Chairman of the Board of Police Commissioners, Brother Darrell Woods.
It's always a pleasure, and I usually don't go behind Reverend Anthony, who is a mentor and a pillar in this community. Of course, he met me when I was condemned to life without the possibility of parole. After serving 29 years in prison, and while I was in there, I helped lead the NAACP in there. And we did tremendous work, raised over hundreds of thousands of dollars for the folks in this community, and did some tremendous work. The story will be told next month. You'll probably see a big story, and you'll hear some other things on that in the future. But I met Todd Bettison as well under the auspices of the Detroit branch NAACP while I was in prison. He was a lieutenant at that time. And this man came in to serve. He came in to wrap his arms around young men and young ladies who were struggling, judges who sentenced young people to my program while in prison. And he came in to mentor them and to wrap his arms around them, to love on them. And I never forget that day that when I first met him. He came in with an open heart, and he had a strong sensitivity towards community and towards the men who were in there. I also met the mayor of the city of Detroit in prison. He came in prison under the auspice of the Detroit branch of the NAACP, and he had a program in there called the Detroit Demonstration Project, where he was offered high-low training, asbestos removal, and culinary arts, and he brought business leaders from this community inside the prison, and he hired thousands of prisoners coming out of the streets. The Detroit branch NAACP was a powerful force in Ryan Correctional Facility because leaders like this came in to serve. You know, and I see my sheriff in here. I'm one of his chaplains too, so I better give him a shout out before you take that badge from me. You know, but the fact of the matter is that the Detroit Police Department hired returning citizens in their towing program. That's right. And that's this chief right here helped lead that charge and have done remarkable work. Ain't that right, Brother Reinhardt? A good friend, met him in prison, and so many others in prison under the auspice of the NAACP. But this is a good day, a beautiful day for the city of Detroit right now. That's right. Because as Reverend Anthony said, you have a man who believes in the streets and the suites. And Martin Luther King said it's time for us to turn to each other and not on each other. And we have a leader in this chief who is sensitive enough to go in the backyards of those who are struggling and those who may have been selling drugs, those who are been violent prone, and said there's hope for you. You know, this man was able to bring the Detroit Demonstration Project along with this mayor and say, if you've been unemployed for a number of years, thanks to the city council approval and their backing to be able to fund that program, but they employed thousands of people who have been marginalized. So he is the man for the job. He is the leader for the job. He is the chief for the job. And I'm so thankful to be able to say years later, after I walked out of prison, and when I first met him, I'm standing in the headquarters of the police department to welcome our new chief, because he will be the new chief, because we got the votes in city council right now today to make it happen. Come on, let's receive our chief of police, the leader, the man for this hour, Chief Todd Bettison.
All I can say is wow. Wow. I am so thankful. I do have some prepared remarks, and I'll start out with, first of all, thank God, for blessing me. I want to thank my family, for the support over the years. TJ, Tracy, my mother-in-law, Chris. I got a special guest here, too, I want to thank. Joe Hutchison, where you at? Joe, come up here real quick. Stand right there. Sir. So a conversation can change a young person's life. And when I was at Wayne State, I saw this police officer walk into the class full uniform, look good. I was like a kid. And, DPD back then was going through a lot of layoffs, and I looked at him, and we had the same class, Policing in America. And I said to the officer, I said, man, I thought ain't they about to lay you off? And he was like, no, we're actually hiring. You ought to join. I said, no, I want to be a Fed. I think I want to be a federale. I want to join the FBI or something. He said, well, unless you got a law degree or you an engineer, they're not going to take you. So you might want to decide local to get to where you need to be. So I said, well, y'all don't make any money though. Now I was only making $3.35 an hour at the time. So I worked 20 hours a week. So I don't know who I thought I was. So he said to me, well, they start out at $27,000 a year, young man. I was 27, so that I was more of an hourly like person. That didn't compute. So I said, but how much is that an hour? He said, that's about $14 an hour. I straightened up, said, said at that point, where do I sign up? He said, go to 2110 Park. This man right here changed my life. I went down there, they hired me, and I just got to say thank you. And he's a successful entrepreneur, Hutchinson's Funeral Home, and just does amazing things. And when Officer Cameron Richardson, who recently, was killed in that accident, Joe did step up and say, hey, if need be, I would cover the funeral for that officer, no charge. Thank you. Thank you. I want to say thanks to my senior management team, A.C. Ewing, A.C. Fitzgerald, D.C. Hayes, D.C. Sloan, D.C. Bliss, D.C. Stewart, D.C. Williams, D.C. Pritchett. Without them, I stand on the shoulders of the people who support, and they have done a phenomenal job as far as pushing. Chief White, now CEO White of D-Wing. Right. Correct. Has made it very, very easy for me. This team at DPD was already excellent. And so the only words you're going to hear Todd Bettison say as chief is continuous improvement. I'm like, we will continue to improve. On DPD, we have what we call civilians, and we have sworn. I don't call them civilians anymore. I call them professional staff. I don't like that term, civilian. Our non-sworn individuals are professional at what they do, and I want to thank Fatima Elzine and also Stephen Lamoureux, whom contribute significantly towards our process improvement and managing our real-time crime center. Thank you, along with all the professional staff of the Detroit Police Department as well. It's about 700 of them. I say thank you to Mayor Duggan for your confidence in me, sir, for your confidence in allow me to continue to serve this great city, the greatest city in America, which is Detroit City. I say thank you, Mayor Duggan, for, enrolling me. I talked about my certificate at the Mike Illich School of Business, but Mayor Duggan recruited me to be his deputy mayor and put me in the Michael E. Duggan School of Business. And so now I have an MBA from the Michael E. Duggan School of Business. To City Council, I can't say enough about this council. When I talk to other police chiefs and I talk to others, major city chiefs, they're at odds with their city council. I can't get this, I can't get that. But throughout my career, whether I was the deputy mayor, first assistant chief, interim chief, commander, this city council's continued support, which steps up and supports the Detroit Police Department and keeps the citizens of Detroit first, is second to none. So I thank Council President Mary Sheffield. I thank all of the council members. And you see today I have Council Member Young standing with me. And also have Council Member Callaway standing here as well. And I just thank even the ones, because they're in council session, I thank them all because they supported the raises for DPD. They have supported the things that allows the Detroit Police Department to be a top-tier police department. You know, and when they gave us those big raises and funded it, and then also funding the CBI programs as well, making appropriations there, we're at a 99% fill rate. No other department around I know is at a 99% fulfill rate. So thank you, City Council. Now I say thank you to Detroit. As interim chief, it has truly been a unique experience. As I walk around the city and I'm out and about, countless Detroiters have stopped me, said, I'm pulling for you, chief. I'm rooting for you, chief. I see you trying to hide up under that baseball hat, chief. You know, because I'm thinking nobody knows me, but folks know. And it was these two brothers. I was downtown on Washington Boulevard. They stopped me. It was 7 o'clock in the morning. And they said, hey, I see you, chief. You that new chief? I said, yeah. Because I didn't know how this was really about to go. And then they said, we from Linwood. I said, okay. They say, but you know what? We believe in you. We want you to do us right, though. And we got faith in you. And, you know, just keep doing what you're doing. We support you over there on Linwood. So I say to them brothers, I wish I had got their names, but I thank the brothers from Linwood, from the west side to the east side, from the southwest side. I thank all of you all. To my grassroots activists, and to my influencers, and, you know, we hear about grassroots all the time, but it's something even deeper than grassroots when you get into the activism world, you know, and I want to give a shout out to Minister Malik Shabazz as well, because he really was out there at the forefront. Back in 1994, Malik Shabazz and the New Marcus Garvey movement, they were out there standing in front of drug houses, protesting, shutting dope houses down in the city. So we all got to give it up to Malik Shabazz. But it's something a little bit deeper that they call mud roots activism. And so mud roots, a lot of you all don't know exactly what mud roots is. But let me tell you, if you want to know more about mud roots, you need to talk to Zeke of New Air Detroit, who's standing here. Zeke, I know you're in the back right there. Zeke, have a conversation with Zeke of New Air Detroit. Talk to Zoe, talk to Alaire Harvey Quinn of Force Detroit, talk to Negus Vu, talk to Ray Winers, because they just take it a level even deeper than grassroots. Now, Craig Miller, Ron Thomas, the DPOA, I thank you for your support. Craig right there, Ray, and the whole e-board of the DPOA, it's been amazing. We have the same goal in mind, and that's to make sure that DPD is the best police department in the country, and then also that we take care of our men and women of the Detroit Police Department and serve the citizens of Detroit. I want to thank Commander Alvarado and the DPCOA, because you know what? The city of Detroit is a union town. It just is. And so I had the opportunity to represent the mayor this year at the Labor Day parade. I walked in the parade, got a chance to speak on behalf of the city at the parade when I was deputy mayor. But just to my union labor folks out there, you know, like I said, my mother was a Detroit school teacher for 38 years. She was a union rep. I believe in the unions, and in the City of Detroit Police Department, I think we got about 4 unions. So it's the DPOA, the LSA, the DPCOA, and then we got ASME as well. So I support all and each and every one of you. So let's give it up for Lieutenant Young and also Lieutenant Sizemore of the LSA and the E-Board. There are so many folks to thank. I could go on, but I definitely have to talk about the collaboration, because when I was introduced as interim chief, and I said one of the things that I was going to do and what was going to be key is collaboration. And I kept my pledge. I picked up the phone. I will call and ask for resources, will ask for help, because this is what it's about. I'm not asking for me. I'm asking for the city of Detroit, and I'm asking for the visitors who come visit the city of Detroit. We had a phenomenal Lions season, football season this year. And we had fans from everywhere and all the eyes of the world on the city of Detroit. And so after the incident that happened at the first of the year, the terrorist incident that happened in New Orleans and also what happened in Las Vegas, and we had the postseason Lions games, it was like, well, the mayor gave me a call and like, okay, we have to ensure that we further enhance our safety public safety plan for these games, but also realizing that we have limited resources and we still have to answer those 911 calls in the community, and we have to protect the whole entire city of Detroit. I picked up the telephone, called Sheriff Michael Bouchard. I called of Oakland County, called Sheriff Anthony Wickersham of Macomb County. I called Ray Washington. I called Colonel Grady of MSP. I said, will you send resources? And they all said yes. They sent a lot of resources. Our federal partners sent resources, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. I did it with the tree lighting. I will continue to do it because they want to help. It's about keeping everyone safe. If you live in the city of Detroit, if you're visiting the city of Detroit, if you're a police officer, no matter who you are, you're a senior citizen or you're a youth, it's about keeping you safe. The media, who's here, thank you. You've been kind to me. We definitely have to utilize the media to get the word out. It's so many different avenues in how you're successful to a police department, whether we're looking for somebody that's a threat or danger, whether it's something going on where you have to warn the community, and then just being able to help get the good news stories out about what's happening in the city of Detroit with DPD. So I thank you, media, for showing up. You do. You know, I know sometimes that we have to have some, it might be uncomfortable for me or it might be uncomfortable for you, but sometimes we have to have those uncomfortable conversations. However, the public deserves the right to know, and as being chief of police, I pledge to be transparent and be there for you, and I look forward to that ongoing relationship that we have. So let's give it up, everybody. I know they don't get a lot of thanks, but I'm going to give it up for the media. And like I say, not only 247, our traditional media and radio but you know, we have social media, we have our social media influencers that we also call our non-traditional media. So just a shout out to them as well. The city of Detroit, our community relations and DPD is second to none. It's just second to none. Regardless of where I go and I'm talking to other chiefs of police or wherever I'm at, and we start talking about, you know, community and bridging the gap. Of course, we can always improve, and we're going to continue to improve, but there's nobody got what we have going on here in the city of Detroit. This right here is why, and you've heard what makes us special. The historic low crime rates is because of folks here, because of all of you, and it's also because of just the continuous effort to pour more and more, not just enforcement, but also wraparound services to get to the real root cause of what drives crime, because it's not one thing. But we're going to continue to do, my favorite word is and. We're going to do this and that and this and that until we get it down to a truly acceptable level. With that, I've said a lot, did a whole lot of thank yous, and so I'll open it up to the media right now for questions.
Good morning. We stand in the same room where I told y'all last year that the chief would be gone. Nobody believed me. But congratulations to you, Chief White, you was just doing too good. You don't do good and then don't move. I want you to do good, Todd, but not so good where they got to move you. You forgot to thank me. My question to you, especially with the city council in the shadow and the commissions in the shadows, you're a very open person. You are, I told the mayor, I can say it in front of everybody. You got some of my love now because you hired Todd as the deputy mayor. And I did my best to take you all over the country. What do you feel the police department can do to help merge that understanding? Exactly what the commission is doing, what the council is doing in terms of giving support. You just mentioned giving support to the police chief. A lot of people are out of connected. I'm Second Baptist, Reverend Vance Church, Bishop Ellis Church just did a graduation class on both sides of town. Those families are becoming inundated with understanding cops because they got family. What are we going to do to merge the understanding so we continue the respect and the safety in our communities in light of we still got sons shooting, in light of we still got women acting a fool, stabbing each other? What do we do, and how do we bring that spirit that you had even when we was at his office? You know, he said, you got an open door. Is the door still open here? And I believe it is, but what do we do to merge that understanding to the community?
Thank you, Gary, for that question, and thank you, Gary. So you said I didn't thank you. Thank you. And to anybody else out there who I didn't thank as well, thank you all. I mean, really, it's about credible messengers, and a person can only receive a message from that they respect. They can't receive it from someone that they can't relate to and that they don't respect. And so we have to get individuals in front of that population that you're referring to that they respect. And that's why I have a whole collective army. It doesn't have to be me personally, but I know that when I'm talking to young people, I look like somebody's grandfather. And so I have some young police officers because we hire at 18. I have also young credible messengers. I have other people. So whether it's senior citizens, they want to have somebody not so young, but they need somebody that they can relate to. So my goal will be always identifying the vessel who can deliver the message and direct them to the resources that they need. Because the resources can be there, but without the opportunity and understanding of how to get to them, it's almost like they're not there.
My only other follow-up is, I noticed the pastors are missing. I know you have some good relationships. Are we doing anything to make sure that the churches and the pastors have a relationship with you?
Oh, always. Absolutely. We have a chaplain corps. I'm in individuals' churches, and I will also have what's called chief advisory boards. So a clergy advisory board, I'll have various advisory boards to deal with various stakeholders so that, like I said, identifying the right vessels to be able to get the message out to the masses.
All right. Good afternoon. Good morning, Chief.
Thank you.
You mentioned limited resources. Sorry, Darren Cunningham with Channel 7. You mentioned limited resources. What would be your approach to officer recruitment and retention? And then I also had a question for the mayor. I understand this is a national search. What set Chief or Chief-elect Bettison apart from the other two candidates?
So I'll start with your question, then I'll definitely turn it over to the mayor. So with recruitment and retention, I don't have a retention problem anymore. City Council took care of that. Mayor Duggan took care of that. Matter of fact, if I took you up to my office right there, I got a stack of applications with individuals who left DPD and went to other departments who want to come back. They saying we want to come back home. So when you have that type of excitement, and we just, since I've been interim police chief over the past month, we've graduated roughly about, we've had 2 classes and about 75 individuals, that are freshly minted police officers that are out on the street. So we're in great shape with that excitement, and I just thank the support that I have from the city. Mr. Mayor?
You already heard it. If I could pick from any person in America to be the next chief of the Detroit Police Department, I would pick Todd Bettison.
Good morning, Chief.
Good morning.
Shantae Passmore at Local 4. I do want to piggyback off that last question. How many sworn officers do you have in your department? How many more or open positions do you have right now?
I roughly have 2,700 sworn officers, and we're anywhere about 60 positions that are open, and and we're filling them fast. We have Director Patillo. How many do we have in the academy right now?
About 138.
So we're in great shape.
So far,
And there's one other thing that I'm working on. Public Safety Trust Fund, House Bill 4605, 4606, which will bring an additional $18 million to the city of Detroit, year over year over year. And we need that passed because that will allow me the opportunity to hire more officers. And I definitely plan on putting them in co-response and crisis intervention training or response, and that deals with our mental health crisis.
And so far this morning, we've heard what the department has done very well, but can you touch on some of the challenges that the department still faces?
It's still always, and you hear me use the word continuous improvement, and so connectivity and making sure that we get the message out and our different age groups. One of the things that we want to definitely connect with more is our younger people, our juvenile population. and ensuring that they really understand what's going on and that they understand the opportunities that are there for them and inspire them, because it is an uptick when it comes to juvenile type related crime, and that's going to be our focus this year. Another focus that we're going to focus on big time is our problematic locations. And so a problematic location could be, for example, a gas station. It could be one of those smoke shops, and they're continuously selling vapes and other things to our children, damaging their lungs. And so we got a tremendous vape problem. So I will definitely be focused in, along with some of these other community members as well, as far as holding them accountable. So if they're doing things of that nature, we'll definitely work using all of the resources of the City of Detroit Law Department, Building Safety Engineering, we call them BC for short, to shut them down. And so I've shut down a couple, and it's not permanent, but for them to get their stuff into compliance. And so we will be holding those accountable. Traffic. We do have a problem with individuals that violate traffic laws, speeding, a lot of folks driving around the city with no license plates. And so stepping up the traffic enforcement, you may have already seen some of the stuff that I'm doing as far as the blitzes, et cetera, where I don't like ticketing individuals. I don't like taking individuals' cars, but I definitely want to ensure that we have an environment where you can drive safely on the streets of the city of Detroit. And so with that, it'll be an educational component. We forewarn you when we're about to do a traffic blitz. I'm going to have PSAs coming out as well. I want individuals to get their licenses in order. On the street, they call them their L's. And so I'll definitely sit down with Chief Judge McConaughey as well to say, hey, what can we do to help Detroiters too? Because it's an and. It's an economic thing, but can we have a ticket amnesty, something going on where we can have Detroiters come into the 36th District Court to work on having some relief when it comes to that piece. So I want to do it all.
Thank you.
Hi, Chief. Elaine Rojas Castillo with CBS Detroit. We did talk a little bit about earlier, there was discussions about how the police department has navigated its relationship with the different communities in our city. Race relations obviously is something that has been an issue in Detroit, not just on the micro level, but really on the macro level. What do you plan to do when you take over this role to address those concerns that may lead to other problems?
I really don't understand the question as far as we say this race relations, and I don't. We would have to have a more in-depth conversation. So I haven't seen what you're seeing when you're saying the race relations.
I guess in this particular context, one of the things that has been brought to our attention in the media is the different dynamics within the different neighborhoods, whether it's relationships within particular groups of people or just the dynamics when it comes to people and law enforcement. I just wanted to know your thoughts on how you address concerns that people may have when it comes to their relationship with law enforcement.
I mean, I pull up on them where they are, and so I'm out. We have our neighborhood police officers. I will go and meet anywhere. I'm not a chief that just sits in his office, and so by being there, being with these community members, all of us, they haven't expressed that to me per se. So, but I'm willing to sit down with you, and we will go any and everywhere, and it's all about cohesiveness, coming together and understanding each other. And so, but would love to talk to you more about that. But I just haven't seen. And I got them all standing here, so we're actually confused. Okay.
No, that's fine.
We're confused as to what you're talking about.
That's why we ask the questions. Just to follow up on that, when it comes to the resources that you need to effectively do your job, I know you've talked about the things that you've been given, kind of piggybacking off of what the last reporter asked. What are some things you're looking to get now once you're in this role that you think maybe you haven't gotten as much support that as in the past that you'd like to see in the future?
Ray Winans. We need the public safety trust.
Sir, can you repeat that, please, so I can answer it correctly?
Sure. In terms of resources for the department, what are some things that you're looking for with this new administration? Things that you may not have had or things that you'd like to expand upon?
Making sure we organize the community, get that $100 million allocated to the city of Detroit so we can continue to push and save lives. I think, and that's something that the media can help us with also, is echoing that message, right? Because Detroit is very unique, right, than any other city across the country, and we all know that. We're the only city that actually has city government and community working in lockstep, right? And so we have an opportunity right now to save more lives. And so anywhere we take a look at when it's talking about taking lives, the graveyard don't have a waiting list. The funeral home doesn't have a waiting list. So why do so many of these CVI organizations and law enforcement have a waiting list of people that need help? So that's something that the media can help us with. Okay?
Thank you.
All righty. Well, thank you all so much for coming out.